Oh, look at this guy. He's off the screen again at the beginning of the video. Am I ever gonna get used to it? Well, I hope so. If you've ever bought something just because Big Daddy just made a review of it, or it just featured on one of his videos for your airsoft purposes, go and hit that subscribe button. And if you don't know who I was just making a tribute to, you have lived in a cave without internet, of course, for a while, because that was from Big Daddy, the king of the tactical blade, well, with permission of Ronin, of course, or just Mike. For people who know him, unfortunately, I'm not acquainted with him. So that's Grand Thumb's channel. I'll link it, because I believe if I'm making a tribute out of something that is as awesome as those intros, I should at least redirect you to that channel. But of course, you already know him, you're already following him, because his videos are much better than mine. They're edited, they're shorter, and he knows much more about the stuff he talks about, because he actually uses it for something else than doing some pew-pew-pew stuff in the weekends. But today's topic is straight pew-pew-pew related, as it's going to be my first impression video of the SCAR H new generation recoil shock from Tokyo Marui. Now, I've made one of these in Spanish a couple of weeks ago, so there's no point on doing the double video like I did with the Helicon jacket. And I'll make a little insight on how the plate carrier project is going on about. Thing is that, result of yesterday's video about the jacket, the people who already was part of the community liked it more in English than in Spanish, because it was funnier. And I did do some more dark jokes in English, as the language allows me to, and I don't like making jokes like, you know, black people and so on, if I know they won't be able to understand them, because that's not good. I mean, if I'm making a joke, the target should be able to understand the joke. That's why in English I can make more jokes. However, I will be doing some gypsy jokes, of course, with the copper stuff and everything, and the why you carry a double stacked Glock instead of a single stacked Glock. Well, because gypsies come always with their cousins, and that's a lot of bodies that you have to drop, so always carry a double stacked Glock and 3 or 4 extra mags. So, my first impressions of the SCAR H from Tokyo Marui, of the recoil blah 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 thingies. Now, this thing, it's fucking expensive. I mean, it's expensive. It comes at around, depending on where you buy it, almost 600 to 700 monies. That's a lot for an AEG. I mean, if you're paying that much for an airsoft replica, it should at least do the taxes for you, which I tried and it does not. So, of course, there are many things that justify the price, like the way when you take it out of the box and you just start shooting it. I gave myself the permission of using 0.28 gram BBs from G&G, biodegradable, of course. You're not allowed to use non-biodegradable BBs in Spain by law, by the way. So if you're traveling here, buy biodegradable BBs. And if you already live here and you're still using non-bio BBs, you're an asshole. Now, it shoots exceptionally stock with 0.28 gram BBs, tested only with G&G, which is my go-to manufacturer for BBs. This is why I have the shot dot on it. This is the Vision King shot dot. You can buy it for I mean, it cost me around 70 euros, but I've seen that they had a sale. It was on around 62 euros. So you can get them quite cheap. They're made for real firearms, so they are sturdy. The mount is not included, and I will link you the whole aiming device setup in the description, because Vision King sells straight from AliExpress. The mount itself is also from a hunting shitty Chinese manufacturer, but does the job. It is quick detachable with two of these thingies, so that's nice. The RMR is a 20 euro, around 20 or 18 euro RMR copy from AliExpress. This one does not even have an turn on and off button, so you just put the cap on. This was actually just, this had battery. I put this on a month ago and I used it for 3 or 4 games, but I was worried that it will not turn off when you put the cap on, and it does turn off. It's extremely easy to zero because one turn is like 15,000 MOA. So you'll zero this bad boy in seconds, and if it gets hit, it will lose zero, which I had my certain amount of experience with when using it on my double eagle shotgun. You won't be putting a sight that's more than 35 euros on a 35 euro shotgun. And it does a great job with the hybrid sight thing. I mean, I usually aim with the RMR also because it's higher up. You have a better line of sight because you don't have all the gun, and this is a big gun. I mean, you have an OGG boot as a stock on it, so just bring it a bit lower or bring your head higher. You can see everything around, really easy to just react to new appearing targets. And the other one is to see how the BB flies off, and if you're shooting at around 30 meters or more, which this is capable of, and I'm actually really surprised. I even have a picture of me being surprised that I shot at a guy that was maybe 40 meters away just to see that I can't hit him. And then he raises his hand and says, hit. And I just went, "T'ho demoniao, primo," which means it's touched by the devil in proper Andalusian. Because yeah, we have, you see, in Spain we have the Spanish language, which is also what they have in Latin America, which is bad mostly. I mean, they have different versions of it, but it sounds just awful usually. Then we have the Galician, the Basque, and the Catalonian, and the Valencian, and the Balear, which are the same language, but well, you know, they think they're special. But then we have the Andalusian with all its variations, and it's not actually recognized as a language, but every time an Andalusian person speaks on TV, like one of those live action, you know, when they interviewing people and that, they put subtitles on because people don't understand us. Make it its own language, please. That way I can say I can speak 4 languages instead of just 3. So, shoots exceptionally well. The construction is great. I mean, the wobble, the thing you can hear right now wobbling are the 2 Allen keys I have inside the foregrip. So let me just, there you go. Some replicas that are quite pricey are wobbly when they come out of the box, and that's unacceptable. What Tokyo Marui does is, yeah, they assemble it exceptionally, but since they're using some materials that are not as sturdy as they should be on some places, they begin to wobble. I've been told to remove the sling from the back to the middle because I will get a wobbly stock, which, hey, there you go, it wobbles, the stock wobbles, but it's plastic on plastic, so it makes no noise. The stock has, apart from being extremely ugly, of course, because it looks like an UGG boot, you know, all the adjustments, I just have it the shortest and the lowest. One thing I don't like about the stock is the fact that the battery that you can fit inside, I mean, look how big the stock is, right? So you may be wondering, well, I mean, I can fit whatever battery I prefer inside. Well, this is the biggest battery I was capable to fit inside the stock. Look at it. If I went to prison, I can hide it inside my asshole. And I'll go through with it. That's all you are capable of fitting inside. Well, it has a bit more space in there, but you know, that longer, not much. So kind of disappointed that I thought I may be able to fit at least an AK stick type battery, which I have plenty of because of course I'm Russian and I have AKs for airsoft as well. But I couldn't. So that was a bit disappointing. Also, the cables run weirdly. So every time you close the pin, you have the cables going in around and they're in the middle. And I have not found a proper way of hiding the cables securely without hitting anything. So that's also not quite of my liking. Now, putting this back on is quite easy. It even has a stupid sign that says up, which is good because this is 2019 and these days we need to have instructions on our McDonald's cups just to know how to put the straw in and how to drink a Coca-Cola or whatever drink you're drinking or not drinking or whatever. Now, as you can see, I struggle putting this through, and I don't like struggling putting little metal thingies inside little plastic thingies because I like to hit things with a hammer because that's my culture and you have to respect it. If this was an AK, I would just take the hammer out and start hitting it until it comes through. But this is not an AK, and if I do that, I'll break it. So I can't do that. Now, this is one of the things I don't like. The other thing, there you go. The other thing I don't like is that you're paying for this next generation recoil shock, awesome thing. And what it does, one of the things it does, and it's quite, let me check first because I have the battery on, but I don't have BBs on, but I don't have protection glasses on, and that's bad because you should always wear protection glasses. Yeah, no BBs inside. All right, it's fully safe. Plus, I'm shooting to the shooting range I have over here, which is out of the sight. Yeah. Okay, so when you fire with no BBs, it will stop electronically because there's a button in the magazine that when it's empty, it goes up and blocks the system. And then you hit the bolt release and you're able to shoot again. This is cool because you always know when you run out of BBs and the thing shoots the last BB of the magazine, so you won't be losing any BBs and you can't afford to lose any BBs because you already spent so much money on this thing just for the thing, not even the accessories whatsoever. So you're economically pretty bad. You're bad. You should feel bad about yourself because you spent too much money on a toy. But I thought, well, you know what? I'm an AK guy, so I'm not used to having one of these. What I am used to have is having one of these. So I'm thinking, well, if I run out, switch my mag, go like this, and I can shoot again. But wait a minute. I can't shoot again. They didn't integrate the charging handle into the recoil system to make it fully realistic. And I knew they wouldn't do that, but they go around saying, well, you know what, we're the manufacturer that innovates, we created the gearbox, you were dummies running with HPA back in the 80s before we came, and everything, and we make this new generation, we're the coolest ones, probably overpriced, we use whichever materials we want, we don't pay license for the markings because we don't care. But then you fail me with this, you fail me with the charging handle. And to switch the charging handle from side to side, to the left side, since I'm left-handed, it's a pain in the ass because you have to open the whole upper part and start disassembling things. And I'm not going to disassemble this thing. I mean, I'm trying to run this stock as long as I can, not because of the warranty, but because it's supposed to be made by a Japanese engineer who has all of its fingers which you cannot say about all the Chinese manufacturers. They're usually kids with a couple fingers missing because, you know, they're working with heavy machinery and all that. So someone with a degree and all his fingers made this. I'm not opening it up. And I'm not paying someone who didn't even, I don't know, pass his selectividad exams, which is the A levels in Spain. If you're watching from the UK, if you're watching from the US, it's when your parents pay money to a university to go to. Here we don't do that. Well, we do it, but not that much money. You can't afford a Mustang on the money, the tuition of the university costs. Oh, you can go to the Juan Carlos, but that's another thing. I'm not getting into that right now. So, the charging handle won't work as a bolt release. You have to hit the bolt release, the bolt catch, whatever you call it. Of course, it's ambidextrous, both the selector switch and the mag release. I had some people who are right-handed complaining about the mag release being hit when they drop it with the sling, hitting stuff. If you want to solve that, just run some duct tape over it, because the fence of the mag release, it's higher than the mag release itself. So if you put some tape over here, right, you're good to go. Well, that reminds me that the bolt catch is also ambi, since you can hit it, right? No, you can't. You have to go all the way up. So, failures. What has failed in 2 games? Well, the selector switch. The selector switch has this thing that it happens in so many Generation 3 gearbox replicas that it hurts. Mostly the G36 from Jingong or Double Eagle or whatever it's called in your country. They are the same. In fact, Jingong means golden eagle in Chinese. I said double eagle, but I meant to say golden eagle. So, sometimes when you run in semi, and of course I'm running it semi, it won't shoot. You have to switch to automatic, fire a burst, and then switch back to semi just to keep firing. And that's not something I like on a almost €600 replica after 2 games. So, Marui, you better unfuck it up, as would Angry Joe say. Also a great channel. Now, other things, of course, the thing with the stock that you can't run a sling on the back of the stock because it wobbles. That's a pain in the ass for me. I'm sorry. If I have a sling attachment on the back and I paid for this sling attachment and I want to use it without the stock wobbling, but, well, still okay. You can switch the rails, I believe, quite easily, just you know, removing these. I've seen some sick looking M-lock rails for this thing, you know, just the rail attachments. I couldn't find any for 3D printing on Thingiverse, which is quite a shame because I wanted to switch them. Since I'm not using the rails, when I'm not using rails, I just take them off. I use the foregrip as a reference, no flashlights right now. I'm using a bit of heresy over here because I'm using a Core Airsoft A1 sling attachment to rail, which is a replica of the A1 from Zenit, the Russian manufacturer. I want to get one from Magpul, but the original one, because the Chinese knockoffs always break. This way I can have the sling closer to me. And the best configuration will be having the sling far back. I started using the Helicon Tex sling. I made a review of it in Spanish a while back. Not too much, not too many time ago. And now I just got this from TMC because I once got bit by a multicam pouch, and now I'm addicted to it. So I have everything in multicam, and this is from TMC. This is a copy of either the VTAC or the Slingster. I don't know. For me, they're all the same. Just a 2-point padded sling with adjustable length on the front, so you can make it longer or shorter. And I haven't tried it yet. I haven't fielded this one yet, but it's just a 2-point sling. I think it looks quite okay. Well, one of my friends got the one from Twin Falcons, and he says it's amazingly made. So there you go. I love the magazines. I love the fact that, you know, if you're switching to another compatible platform, like you're still in the AR platform, but your AR magazines won't work on the recoil shock systems because they're different. I went all the way and switched caliber. I went to the 7.62. Magazines look awesome. I mean, look how big this thing is. Well, if you have an M14 or whatever, or FAL or any 7.62 51 rifle, you'll know what I'm talking about. However, it was quite hard finding the best way to carry the magazines around, which is why I had some inserts made for the Recoil plate carrier. Yes, this is a Recoil plate carrier from Warrior Assault Systems with the carry cummerbund from Ferro Concepts and homemade insert. Just, you know, a dummy FMA tourniquet there because it's cool, and a Baofeng with a big battery and the big antenna, the TACSky PTT, because I used the Comtax 3 from TACSky as well. I had a video on that in Spanish earlier. If you'd like, I can make it in English as well, on demand, as usual. You know, just tell me what you want. I'll do whatever I want anyway. But you may give me an idea. So well, I tried this cummerbund already. I haven't made a video on how it changed the whole system, and it has. This thing is amazing. You don't have to go with the Ferro one because you have replicas from the Cry Precision ones from TMC and Emerson, I believe. You have Warrior Assault Systems makes one, and Templars Gear also makes one. But I had to go with Ferro because they were the only ones who made it, not only in multicam, the rubber part, but also the Velcro part, and that's glorious. I mean, even this strap to remove the cummerbund is made out of laser cut Cordura 500D, so it's glorious. I just love the way it looks and the way it fits. It's just amazing. The carrying thing, you know, you can fit a radio and 4 pouches. I want to fit a small first aid kit, like a boo-boo kit, in this one. I have to make it because right now my boo-boo kit is this big. Now I'm gonna put this on, and I will remove the microphone because it gets in the way, and I will put the microphone on the molly over here. Right. So it goes a little bit like this. As you can see, I'm trying to run it as slick as I can. I just put this on. It looks amazing. Still, well, it doesn't have any molly right now in here. Maybe I'll get me a tourniquet insert so I can put in there. Maybe I'll switch it here. I'll see what I can do. But right now it's staying like this. I usually have 2 mags over here, another mag over here, pistol mag, you know, the Glock 19, first aid kit, and the water bottle. I was just too lazy to put on the belt since I had the belt configured for the shotgun, and right now I was not feeling like it. So now I have glorious multicam all over it. Well, except the rifle itself, which is black. Why did I get the black version instead of the dark earth version? Well, because they didn't have stock of the dark earth version, and I just wanted to get it so bad, so quick. So yeah, sling is fine. I mean, right now it's in the longest configuration, which is short, because if it were attached to the back of the stock, it will be just enough. But then I can no, wait, now is the longest, and now is the shortest. It doesn't have many play, does it? I still have to go around the sling. I mean, I have to put some practice on it. Now, that's some bullshit. Well, how short is the short? I mean, the short is not short enough for the rifle to be up. And the long is not long enough so I can properly switch shoulders. Wait, I'll go through the back. Well, I can, but it looks so orthopedic. I mean, whoa. I fucked it up. That's how you fuck something up. Well, I have to experiment with it, just like girls do in college. Okay, so that's basically it. I love doing these videos in English right now because, you know, I get to practice the language. It's fun. I also watch them afterwards to see just how I did it, see what can I improve, and I just love the way it fits. I mean, this changes everything. You don't have to get the Ferro Concepts one. You can get something cheaper, but the elastic cummerbund, especially if they have the carrying ability, because this radio here is the best spot. It does not get in the way of my hand reaching for something because it's quite here. When I go to the ground, it won't be because it's still, so it's right in the middle. It does not hurt me in any way because it's so close to the plate itself. It's wonderful. And then you have this other pocket here, which is the symmetrical one. The bubble kit right here will be great. Also an extra mag if you're running a 5x62. 562 by 45 things, something, and yeah. So, well, if you like this thing, if you like the video, just go ahead and share it somewhere, social media, I don't know. I want people to come here and say, stop talking so much. Your videos are so long. Nobody watches them. Stop doing this. You're so bad. Your hair is weird. You have double chin. I have fun with the trolling community because the trolling community soon finds out that it's quite hard to troll me. And I love memes. Oh, and by the way, the rifle was called MadagaSCAR, if you haven't noticed. Because one of my friends, Helgast from Cordoba, he bought himself an SA-58 and it ended up in Burkina Faso. No joke. It had to go from Italy to Spain and it ended up in the middle of Africa. So when the guy from the shop sent him another one, the rifle is now called Burkina. And mine, when it came a day earlier. It came on a Friday. Well, it supposedly came on a Friday, and it said Carlos has got your package. He's got your stuff. And I was like, okay, that's probably one of the concierges up here in my urbanization. I asked them, they didn't have anything. I started looking for it. The memes started growing up, and that's when I said, well, let's see in which country of Africa it is. And the people had spoken, and it has been called the MadagaSCAR. I also enjoy bad jokes. You know, the ones that get you kicked out of places. Like church. Oh, it's not my fault it caught on fire so fast. Well, so here it is. MadagaSCAR, it has, I think, 2 or 3 games on it. I already had some issues, but I'm generally satisfied. And of course, all this can be solved if you open it up. I've also been told that there is an aftermarket piece for the stock, which the shop that I bought this from, Legion Airsoft, which is the one I'll link to you, because I think they have one of the best pricing for the European Union. You could buy them from them, and they just got the MK46s. So if you want to spend a shit ton of money on a toy, go there. And they also have my t-shirts, which are a Spanish joke about the Glock not having a safety, and the safety being the same word as insurance in Spanish. So it says, it's not a car, it does not need insurance / safety. And it has a Glock 17 on it. So if you buy one of these, just get one of my t-shirts. Would you kindly? So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Y hasta luego. Now, whenever the video cuts earlier and people say you missed the hasta luego part, it's good because you know the community is there with you. It's cool. So, what are your plans for New Year's Eve, guys? What are you doing? I'm staying home. I can't drink, so I'm not getting wasted or anything. I'm not even getting... Well, last year was nice. We had fun. I always say that New Year's Eve is the worst night to go out because it's you go with high expectations. It's packed full of people. Everything is so expensive. And you end up disappointed. So I'd rather go to bed early on New Year's Eve and enjoy New Year's Day. Just go out in the sun, a walk, maybe lunch somewhere nice, maybe meet up for some friends, see how they get wasted since I can't. That's kind of the life, you know. And since I live in the coast, I can run my car with no roof in December and on the 1st of January. I love the Costa del Sol. I mean, we have so many assholes up here, but you end up enjoying the simple things. You end up enjoying the simple things.